Breaking tonight, the mid-air close call near Los Angeles, forcing pilots to take aggressive action. The Southwest plane taking off, then hit with 2 traffic alerts, forcing it to take a dramatic turn. Passengers saying they were thrown from their seats, some hitting the cabin ceiling. You'll hear from those on board. Also tonight, the DOJ wraps up its second-day sit-down with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. President Trump pressed on whether he could pardon or would pardon or commute her sentence. His response tonight. The urgent manhunt after a deadly shooting at the University of New Mexico. The campus lockdown with hundreds of incoming freshmen visiting for orientation. Communities living in fear, bracing for Medicaid cuts after the passage of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. We speak with those most at risk about the dire situations they face if they're cut off. Right now, dangerous summer storms racing east, intense floods in Chicago, washing out roadways. Video capturing a geyser shooting out of the sidewalk. The ground stops at major airports, plus the area is facing a brutal heat wave through the weekend. The Star Wars-like flying bikes that can reportedly reach 124 miles per hour. The company's slamming rumors that the product was nothing but a Jedi mind trick. So is this a sneak peek at the future? And ratted out, video of the Chuck E. Cheese mascot arrested while on the job. The charges he faces. Plus, a DACA recipient facing deportation after missing an exit near the border. The new reality for dreamers under the Trump administration. Top story starts right now. And good evening. We're coming on the air tonight with breaking news. A Southwest flight forced to make a sudden maneuver to avoid a potential collision mid-air. One passenger saying it felt like a free fall. The airline saying in a statement the pilots got 2 alerts to dodge another aircraft. Passengers on board reporting some were thrown from their seats, even hitting the ceiling. Southwest says it happened shortly after takeoff from the Hollywood Burbank Airport, just north of Los Angeles. The airline saying tonight there was no immediate reports of customers hurt, but 2 flight attendants are being treated for injuries. This incident coming just days after a regional jet had to take aggressive action to avoid a possible collision with a B-52 bomber, and after a string of deadly aviation incidents this year. America forced tonight to re-ask the question, how safe are our skies? Tom Costello, he's going to lead us off tonight. Tom, let's start with this incident tonight. What are you learning about the alerts the pilots got?
Yeah, Tom, this happened at 14,000 feet as a Southwest plane was climbing out of Burbank in Los Angeles airspace, headed for Las Vegas. A source with knowledge of the event says a Hawker Hunter, a vintage British fighter plane, came dangerously close to the Southwest plane. That set off collision warnings and it forced Southwest to take evasive action. Tonight, a pilot forced to make a dramatic dive mid-air to avoid a potential collision with another plane.
I've never felt anything like that. And I turned to the people that I was flying with, and I was like, I don't want to die. I was terrified. I thought this was it. I thought this is how I go out.
It happened on Southwest Airlines Flight 1496 from Burbank, Southern Cal to Las Vegas. Southwest says its pilots got 2 TCAS alerts, terrain collision avoidance systems, serious warnings that they could soon collide with another plane and must change their flight path immediately. The pilots climbed, then descended, according to the airline. Steve Ulazwis was on board.
That there was this large drop. I want to say it lasted for 8 to 10 seconds. Just complete free fall, was like out of my seat, body out of my seat. People were screaming, just felt like pandemonium.
2 flight attendants are being treated for injuries. Ulazwitz says he saw one of them.
She looked disoriented. Her hair was kind of all of a mess. And they sat her down at the front and gave her an ice pack.
No passengers injured. The flight continued on to Vegas, where Southwest says it landed uneventfully. It's the latest close call in the skies. Just last weekend, this video from the North Dakota State Fair captured a Delta regional jet banking and diving to avoid an Air Force B-52. And on Monday, an Aeromexico plane landing in Mexico City narrowly avoided a collision with a Delta flight cleared to take off from the same runway. Tonight, Ulazwitz says he's just happy he's safely on the ground.
And with that, Tom Costello joins us once again. And Tom, quite the moment once that Southwest flight landed in Vegas.
Yeah, that's right. We're told the passengers were all applauding when they landed safely. And then the pilots came out of the cockpit The passengers applied to them, and the pilot shook the passengers' hands as they then departed the plane. Everybody very grateful that it ended as it did. By the way, the FAA confirms tonight it is investigating this event that occurred in Los Angeles airspace. Tom?
Tom Costello leading us off on that breaking news tonight. Tom, thanks. Our other major headline, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche wrapping a second day of interviews with Ghislaine Maxwell as scrutiny grows over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. President Trump touching down in the UK this afternoon after addressing whether he'd give a pardon to Epstein's accomplice. Kelly O'Donnell on the ground in Scotland tonight with the president.
The president put an ocean between himself and the Epstein files controversy, arriving in Scotland tonight. While in Florida, an extraordinary two-day interview is over, involving Ghislaine Maxwell, co-conspirator of infamous sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who said he is pursuing information about anyone who committed crimes against victims of Epstein. Today, President Trump was asked if he would consider a pardon or commutation.
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
Maxwell's attorney says no offer of clemency was discussed or requested.
Listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
Notably saying his client opened up about those around Epstein.
She was asked maybe about 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody.
The Deputy Attorney General posted that the Department of Justice will share more about what we learned at the appropriate time. The president tried to distance himself from the specifics of the Maxwell meeting.
She is being talked to by a very smart man, by a very good man, Todd Blanche. And I don't know anything about the conversation.
In a 2010 deposition, Epstein was asked about his personal relationship with several well-known figures, including Donald Trump.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
The White House says Mr. Trump kicked Epstein out of his club for being a creep, ending their friendship decades ago.
All right, Kelly O'Donnell joins us tonight live from Scotland. Kelly, this is both an official and personal trip for the president. Explain that to our viewers why.
Well, it is a mix of family business and government business. It is not going to have any of the diplomatic niceties we often see when the president travels overseas. He will be playing golf at his Trump-branded courses, and that includes cutting a ribbon with son Eric as they open a second golf course here in Scotland. And the president says he will meet with European leaders on trade and tariffs. That's the government business part. He predicted today it could be a 50-50 chance of trying to get a deal with the European Union on tariffs. Tom?
All right, Kelly O'Donnell traveling with the president. Kelly, great to see you. Now to terrifying moments for new college students at the University of New Mexico. Incoming freshmen on lockdown for hours after a shooter killed one person and injured another. NBC's Steve Patterson is following this one.
Tonight in Albuquerque, police scouring the University of New Mexico campus for a killer.
We're on the east side, kind of center of this campus. Can you have UNMPD come out, please?
Early this morning, New Mexico police say they were called to the Casas del Rio Student Housing Center where there were multiple gunshots. Inside, 2 victims, one with non-life-threatening injuries, the other killed.
It's just crazy to think, how close that was. My heart drops.
Law enforcement closing down Central Campus for hours, telling students to stay indoors. A campus-wide alert warning. The suspect is still at large. Central Campus remains closed. Anyone on campus should continue to shelter in place. The shooting comes on the second day of new student orientation. Incoming freshmen staying overnight on campus. This morning, locked down in fear.
I'm a parent of a student coming in freshman year. She was staying in the dorms at Hocona Hall when everything happened.
We spoke to Mom Renee Kubler, embracing her 18-year-old daughter Addison after several terrifying hours waiting for word.
We couldn't really talk to the others or do anything like that except text.
This parent's worst nightmare averted.
So I'm just very grateful.
It was super emotional. I know it could happen anywhere, but it was super emotional.
These shootings are terrible on campuses whenever, but especially during student orientation. That is so wild. Steve joins us tonight from Los Angeles. Steve, I know this is a very fluid situation tonight, but the university's shelter in place has just been lifted.
Yeah, just moments ago, we learned that shelter in place had lifted, meaning students can finally freely sort of move around those dormitories there. But to outsiders, the campus, the central campus itself, remains closed as police continue this investigation and try to capture that shooter. Tom?
All right, Steve Patterson for us. Thank you. Right now, severe storms are charging east after leaving parts of Chicago underwater. Delays and cancellations mounting at major airports as parts of the country brace for a weekend of extreme heat. Emily Aketa has the latest.
It's a highway. Oh, my God.
Tonight, heavy rains hammering the Midwest and causing flash flooding in Chicago, where cars inch through rushing water. This fire hydrant nearly swallowed as part of the city saw 2 inches of rain in a single hour. In New Mexico, emergency crews are cleaning up from these stunning scenes after flash flooding led to water rescues and swept away this home. The latest bout of brutal weather rolling into the Northeast and wreaking havoc at airports. Ground stops due to thunderstorms in Boston, New York, and Washington, D.C. A stark contrast to the glaring sun that baked some 115 million in heat alerts earlier in the day.
Very hot, very sweaty. Sometimes their mental status is a little bit altered.
Calls for heat-related illness inundating New York's first responders.
You're seeing more calls than ever.
Yes, we're also seeing more calls that have life-threatening emergencies.
While concerts in New Jersey and Maryland were outright canceled, cooling tents and additional medics will play a critical role for bikers at this fundraiser for cancer research in Charlotte.
We have got more ice than we have ever ordered before.
I can imagine. All right, Emily Aketa joins us now from LaGuardia. Emily, we saw in your report about the travel headaches. Still pretty bad tonight?
Yeah, and it appears to only be getting worse, Tom. Good to be with you. You can see on the board behind me not a whole lot of green indicating on-time departures because we are watching those flight cancellations and delays just continue to tick up. Already so far today, some 8,000 flight disruptions across the country. A third of the flights here at LaGuardia Airport in New York alone have been delayed as major airports across the region have been contending with ground stops that have been lasting for hours, Tom.
All right, Emily Aketa for us tonight. Emily, we thank you for more on what we can expect tonight. And into the weekend, I want to bring in our good friend, NBC meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, talk to us about the storms happening right now.
Yeah, the Northeast got it early today. A lot of the storms are over with from New York to Boston. Still some storms to deal with in the Philadelphia area, maybe isolated in eastern Pennsylvania. We had some high wind gusts, too. Newark Airport had a 62-mile-per-hour gust. There are down trees and there are power outages. And look at these airport delays. We're hoping the ground stop's going to be lifted soon in Philadelphia. JFK is up over 2 hours of average delays. D.C.'s at 40 minutes. Boston is over an hour. So this is the fourth Friday this summer that we've had major thunderstorm and huge travel problems at the airport. The other thing we have to watch tonight, a flash flood situation is developing. We're keeping our eyes on the Kansas City area and just south of there, already one flash flood warning, and these thunderstorms are going to head over you. And, Tom, it has rained many days in a row in this region.
And then let's also talk about that brutal heat because some people like us here, we've been dealing with both storms and the heat.
Yeah, people in the South would probably like storms at this point. I mean, it would cool you off. I mean, this is going to be a ridiculously hot weekend, even by southeastern standards. The humidity levels are going to be so high, you're not even going to cool off much at night. Many areas only going into the upper 70s, so the air conditioners are going to be just churning for the next 3 or 4 days in a row. So no relief about D.C. southwards. You get 1 or 2 good days in the Great Lakes, but even Chicago, great Saturday. Sunday, it feels like 101. And look at our friends in Charlotte. Temperature's going to be 100, and we'll be factoring the heat index near 110 Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Same for Tallahassee, Sunday into Monday, too. And, Tom, this heat wave does not look to break till about August 2nd or 3rd in the South. This is going to test everyone's patience.
All right. Bill Cairns, we thank you for that. Tonight, disgraced former Congressman George Santos is now a federal prisoner, beginning his 7-year sentence today after pleading guilty to fraud charges. It comes after Santos has said in recent days he's not sure if he'll be able to survive behind bars. Ryan Nobles has his farewell message to supporters.
Tonight, former Congressman George Santos begins his life as an inmate in the federal correctional institution Farrington in New Jersey. Santos, never one to avoid the spotlight, bid farewell to his supporters with a final X post showing him blowing a kiss with the caption, I may be leaving the stage for now, but trust me, legends never truly exit.
7 years in
Santos admitting he's not prepared for life behind bars.
I don't know that I survive it. I'm not a streetwise guy. I don't know how to fight.
He was forced out of Congress in disgrace, becoming only the 6th member of the House of Representatives to be expelled by his colleagues.
You guys got to get out of my way.
It came after a scathing ethics report marked the end of his short-lived but outsized political career.
Thank you for having me. My name is George Santos.
Within days of his win, press reports began to emerge, revealing Santos was not who he claimed to be. From his past business career to his education, and even something as trivial as a fake stint on his college volleyball team. As the pressure mounted, Santos remained defiant.
I will not stand by quietly.
But soon, the lies about his biography quickly morphed into a criminal indictment. Santos chose to plead guilty to a long list of charges.
I know that my actions have caused disappointment, frustration, and a loss of faith in me. And for that, I'm truly sorry.
And tonight, Santos on day 1 of a more than 7-year sentence. Santos spent a lot of time publicly begging President Trump for a pardon, but ultimately admitted that pardon was not going to come. Tom?
Ryan Noble's on Capitol Hill tonight. Ryan, thank you. Now to the Americas and the case at the U.S.-Mexico border that could lead to a DACA recipient's deportation. A rideshare driver says he took the wrong exit on a highway and accidentally entered Mexico while driving 2 passengers. When he tried to turn around, Border Patrol agents detained him and are now preparing to deport him. George Solis has the story.
Tonight, a California DACA recipient is on the brink of deportation after a wrong turn at the border. For Eric Hernandez, a rideshare driver, an accidental crossing into Mexico from San Diego cost him his freedom, according to his attorney. His attorney says he picked up a fare that was headed to a neighborhood right by the border. On the way, he missed an exit on the highway. Unable to turn around, he crossed into Mexico and then right into the hands of border agents.
Oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
His pregnant wife and mother of 3 children fearful over his possible deportation to El Salvador.
I'm just worried. I'm just worried that if he gets deported, I'm gonna manage everything by myself.
He's currently being detained at this detention center in San Diego, according to his attorney. His attorney says despite the 34-year-old's pleas to border officials that he's legally allowed to work in the U.S. under DACA, they would not let him go unless he bribed them.
One of the officials told him, well, if you pay us $800, we'll forgive everything and we'll let you into the United States with no problem.
Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin declined to comment on the alleged bribe directly, but in a statement to NBC News writing, CBP takes all allegations of misconduct seriously, investigates thoroughly, and holds employees accountable when policies are violated, and adding any illegal alien who is a DACA recipient may be subject to arrest and deportation. According to his attorney, Hernandez came to the U.S. from El Salvador 20 years ago when he was 14, able to legally work and study in the country under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA. DACA recipients need prior approval to leave the U.S., which Hernandez did not have at the time of the accidental crossing, according to his attorney. In a December interview with Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker, then President-elect Trump saying he would work on a plan for those with DACA.
What about dreamers, sir? Dreamers who were brought to this country illegally as children. You said once back in 2017 they, quote, shouldn't be very worried about being deported. Should they be worried now?
The dreamers are going to come later, and we have to do something about the dreamers because these are people that have been brought here at a very young age, and many of these are middle-aged people now. They don't even speak the language of their country.
But last month, a White House spokesperson told NBC News this wasn't a priority for the president, who is instead focusing on deporting criminal illegal aliens. For now, Hernandez's family describing the situation as a nightmare
Una pesadilla, un mal sueño.
as they await his imminent deportation.
George Solis joins us tonight live from Miami. So, George, where does Hernandez's case stand tonight?
Yeah, Tom, our team speaking with Hernandez's attorney a little earlier this afternoon, and unfortunately, it looks like deportation is more imminent than not. His attorney telling us that he was denied his stay of removal, which means that they are going to more than likely deport him. Now, his attorney said he had remained hopeful that something would end up working out, but because of this decision, again, it looks like he will now be heading back to El Salvador, which he is very fearful of because he says it's a country he hardly knows.
Tom? George Solis for us. George, we thank you for that one. Still ahead tonight, we take a look at real-life consequences with government assistance programs at risk under President Trump's new mega law, including those worried about losing their health care coverage. Plus, the massive car explosion that rocked a D.C. suburb. What caused the blast? And the terrifying experience a cosmetic surgery patient endured with eyes wide open. The concerns over cosmetic surgery chains and what you need to know before going under the knife. Stay with us. Back now with growing concern over cosmetic surgery chains that are rapidly expanding across the nation. Growing with them are lawsuits alleging aggressive sales tactics and lax medical standards. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin has this story reported in partnership with KFF Health News.
When Erin Schaefer lost 100 pounds, she had surgery to remove excess skin at the national cosmetic surgery chain Sonobello.
I remember as I got off of the operating table, I looked over and I saw a huge piece of skin. The first thing I thought was I was just skinned alive.
That surgery eventually landed her in the emergency room with a life-threatening infection.
I realized, wow, this could be it. Very scary at that moment.
In that moment, you realized you could die.
Yes.
Remove stubborn fat permanently. Schaefer says ads like this are what led her to Sonobello, which advertises fast results and uses lidocaine for pain, keeping patients awake for surgery. The company says that's because it's safer than general anesthesia. The local anesthetic is a common option for some cosmetic surgery. Schaefer says her first procedure, liposuction, went okay. She even messaged Dr. Manuel Herrera that she was doing great. But when she returned for the second surgery and he started to cut into her skin,
the pain that I felt was just unbearable. And I said, hey, I'm really feeling this. And he says, you're doing such a wonderful job. Just hang tight. I started crying and I said, please stop. I said, I can't do this anymore.
Did he stop?
He did not. He said, just take some breaths. Let's turn on some music.
Schaefer says it wasn't until after she was sick with a severe infection that she learned Dr. Herrera is not a board-certified plastic surgeon. He's a board-certified OBGYN surgeon who took Sonobello's 6 to 8 week unaccredited training program on liposuctions and tummy tucks. Sonobello says the program is rigorous and is transparent with patients about surgeons' qualifications.
I trusted that he was a plastic surgeon. I mean, he was at a plastic surgery center.
Schaefer is now suing Sonobello. The company has denied wrongdoing. Her lawsuit, among more than 200 against cosmetic surgery chains, reviewed by NBC News in partnership with KFF Health News. They include allegations of disfiguring injuries and more than a dozen deaths. Some allege the chains often exaggerate potential results and put profits before safety.
Does Sonobello put profits over patients?
No, it does not. We put our patients first.
Dr. Robert Centeno is a medical director for Sonobello. Dr. Herrera directed NBC News' request for comment to the company. So we asked Dr. Centeno about the pain Erin Schaefer says she experienced.
While she may have had a situation that was uncomfortable, there are many different approaches we can use to get a patient comfortable when they're not having a good experience. As Dr. Herrera did, starting to use talk anesthesia and coaching through the procedure.
We also asked him about patient complaints made to the Better Business Bureau.
There are at least 13 complaints in which patients reported feeling excruciating pain. Can you think of any reason why a surgeon would not stop performing a procedure if asked explicitly by a patient?
Well, to answer your question, 13 over 300,000 patients that have undergone this procedure. It is not, unfathomable that 13 patients would have a negative experience. That's really not the norm.
Stick your head in.
A year later, Erin Schaefer says she's still recovering physically and financially.
Unless it's life or death, I don't want to have any procedure because I was so close to death. I was so close.
All right, and with that, Aaron McLaughlin joins us now in studio. So, Aaron, we know these cosmetic plastic surgery clinics are growing all across the nation. How can patients protect themselves?
Well, Tom, experts say if you are considering one of these procedures, make sure you consult with an actual doctor, not just a sales rep, before making a decision, and also ask about your surgeon's qualifications. Really do your research.
Okay, Aaron McLaughlin, we thank you for bringing us that story. Coming up, the startling road rage incident caught on camera. Video showing a driver throwing a hot cup of coffee into another car and yelling slurs, how police tracked him down. And game over, the Chuck E. Cheese mascot handcuffed and arrested while in full costume. The charges he now faces. But first, an uplifting moment. Top stories, top moment, and this one is heartwarming. It's a throwback as the world mourns wrestling legend Hulk Hogan. One young fan's Hulkster impression giving the superstar a run for his money back in 2021. Take a look.
Let me tell you something, brother. When you walk in this beat shop, I'm surprised that you still got the shirt on, Jack.
Let me tell you something, Hulkster. The first time I met you, I was only 3 years old, but now I'm 6 years old. So now we gotta take it to a bigger level, man. So what are they gonna do when the power of the Hulkster and the roaster and the dual 24-inch pythons run wild on you?
That never gets old. That was Roe Knight at the age of 6. Roe's dad tonight telling us his son is, quote, devastated by the news that his hero passed away and remembering him as the absolute best. All right, stay with us. We're back in a moment. We're back now with Top Stories news feed. A massive car explosion rocked a parking lot in a D.C. suburb Thursday. The car exploded in the Crystal City neighborhood of Arlington, Virginia, charring at least 3 other cars. Arlington Fire and EMS saying the explosion was the result of a ruptured fuel tank. There were no injuries reported. More than 600,000 Frigidaire mini fridges are being recalled over fire safety concerns. Curtis International, which manufactures the fridges, recalling the items after reports that the mini fridges are smoking, sparking, and catching fire, leading to $700,000 in property damage reported, with multiple injuries reported. And a man was arrested after a hate-motivated road rage incident was caught on camera outside of LA. Take a look at this. The victim filming the interaction after the man yelled racial slurs, catching the man throwing a hot cup of coffee at him. Police tracking down the suspect after the victim posted the clip on social media. He was arrested on hate crime and assault charges. All right, Chuck E. Cheese under arrest, handcuffed in front of children. This one's pretty sad. A man working as the beloved mascot at a Florida location, unmasked and taken away as kids look on. It comes after a woman complained her credit card was stolen and fraudulent charges were made after her child's party. The employee was accused of using the stolen card and is charged with larceny and fraud. Okay, change pace here. Switch gears, if you will. WNBA star Caitlin Clark has been sidelined from injury, but that didn't stop her rookie card from smashing an auction record. The card, inscribed with her scoring total from her rookie season, sold last night, forget this, $660,000, a new high for a female athlete sports card. It is, of course, a one-of-one, and in classic Caitlin Clark fashion, it broke her own record. Okay, next tonight to the fear spreading in some communities about planned cuts to Medicaid following the passage of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. California's Central Valley expecting to be hit particularly hard, with more than half of the residents there relying on Medicaid. Our Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona traveled to that community to see how some are bracing for those cuts and what it could mean for the midterm elections.
Oh, you guys are doing a lot for me.
At this rural health clinic in California's Central Valley, low-income patients depend on the services here to survive, both physically and financially.
Do you live in a canyon or do you live up high?
Dr. Carson Chambers is the clinic's psychologist and says the majority of his patients rely on government assistance.
There's no frills here. No one's taking advantage of anything. They're trying to survive.
But now, social safety net programs are at risk under President Trump's mega law, which slashes Medicaid and food stamps. An estimated 10 million people are expected to lose their health insurance under the law.
How badly do people actually need this health care and this health insurance from the government?
It's critical. It's the difference between living on the street and under the influence and causing all kinds of problems to being functional.
At 22 years old, Rick Garcia was permanently paralyzed after he leaned against a faulty railing on a bridge and plummeted backwards.
I fell 27 feet, landed on some rocks on my head, and I broke my neck. Yeah, that changed my life right then and there.
Bound to a wheelchair and unable to work, he lives with his mom, Elaine, and has been reliant on Medi-Cal, the state's Medicaid program, ever since. That allows him to receive some of his care here at the Bakersfield American Indian Health Project.
Without Medi-Cal, I'd be broke. I'd be really broke.
This key swing district is home to huge swaths of farmland. It has been represented by Republican Congressman and dairy farmer David Valadao for 10 of the last 12 years.
Valadao's district has the second highest share of Medicaid recipients in the entire country, according to an NBC News analysis. And this hospital here in Bakersfield gets 72% of its revenue from the state's Medicaid program. This hospital serves as a critical lifeline for the community. Without it, many residents would have nowhere to access care.
Valadao repeatedly vowed to oppose the mega bill, citing his concerns over steep Medicaid cuts and the impacts on rural hospitals.
And I will not support a final reconciliation bill that risks leaving them behind.
But under pressure from Trump, Valadao ultimately voted yes. His office said he was not available for an interview for this story. But he previously defended his decision in a statement, saying, "I voted for this bill because it does preserve the Medicaid program for its intended recipients, children, pregnant women, the disabled, and elderly." His vote has made Valadao even more vulnerable in next year's midterm election.
He ended up voting for it. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, definitely betrayed.
Valadao already faces two challengers, including Democrat Jasmeet Bains, a doctor and California State Assembly member.
When I saw Valadao vote for the big, beautiful bill, I was shocked. How could you do that in a district that has some of the highest needs, some of the highest Medicaid patients in the country?
The agricultural region is dependent on migrant farm workers who are also targeted in the mega law, which kicks non-citizens off of Medicaid, leaving the area nicknamed America's breadbasket, bracing for a healthcare gut punch.
Are you guys worried that you might be impacted?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely, yes. And that will have a big impact on our lifestyle and a big impact on our pocketbook.
Melanie joins us tonight live from Los Angeles. So, Melanie, going back to Rick, who you just spoke to there, bound to a wheelchair with his disability, what does this bill mean for his coverage?
Well, Tom, Republicans insist that only people in their view who don't deserve to be on Medicaid are going to be kicked off the program. So undocumented immigrants or people who are able-bodied but choose not to work. However, Medicaid has already tried to kick Rick Garcia off of the program twice already, and he has had to appeal. And so he's very worried that he and many other people are going to potentially be wrapped up erroneously in all these new changes. And not to mention, there's also going to be new paperwork, new requirements, more frequent eligibility checks, all of that making it more burdensome for people to stay on the program. And it's sparking a lot of fear in the community in Bakersfield, which relies so heavily on these social safety net programs.
Yeah, so rural hospitals, as you know, they account for, I think it's about 1/3 of all community hospitals nationwide. So some Republicans who voted for the president's big, beautiful bill are now trying to sort of walk back some of the ways it could impact those rural hospitals. What exactly are you hearing?
Yeah, it's a pretty remarkable dynamic, one I've not really seen in my 15 years covering Capitol Hill. There are multiple Republicans like Josh Hawley of Missouri who voted for the mega bill who are now trying to walk back and reverse some of the Medicaid cuts. Specifically, Hawley introduced a bill that would roll back one of the provisions that essentially reduces funding for rural hospitals. Those changes are not supposed to go into effect until 2028, but if they do, there's a lot of concern that some of these rural hospitals are going to have to close their doors. And in places like Bakersfield, there's not a lot of options for people to get care. Rick Garcia, for example, has to drive 45 minutes already just to receive some of his care. But at this point, Tom, no signs that Congress is planning to roll back any of those changes.
All right. Melanie Zanona, we thank you for that comprehensive report there. Overseas now to the war in the Middle East, where ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas have appeared to stall once again. President Trump saying Hamas has pulled out of negotiations. It comes as Israel announces it will allow countries to airdrop aid to Gaza as the humanitarian crisis there reaches a breaking point. NBC's Matt Bradley reports.
Tonight, President Trump blaming Hamas for the lack of a ceasefire in Gaza.
They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die.
The war began with the Hamas October 7th terror attack, massacring 1,200 civilians inside Israel and taking hundreds hostage. Tonight, President Trump saying Hamas will never release them all.
I've always said those last
10 or 20 are going to be the toughest, because Hamas knows what happens when they don't have any bargaining chip.
Saying Israel now has to, quote, finish the job against Hamas.
You're going to have to get rid of them. I think what's going to happen is they're going to be hunted down.
Meanwhile, Israel facing international criticism today, saying it will again allow countries to airdrop aid into Gaza, where the UN says 1 in 3 people go days without eating. Ella Dallas Burgos is an American nurse who works in Gaza.
Many of the children here don't have access to just milk or formula. It's been really difficult to watch that I come to work every day and they're trying to do their best.
The United Arab Emirates and Jordan are expected to start airdrops into the Gaza Strip later this week. Tom?
Okay, Matt Bradley for us there in Israel. Matt, thank you. Now to top stories Global Watch, starting with clashes escalating at the border between Cambodia and Thailand. At least 20 people have been killed and 130,000 displaced. The fighting started yesterday in a disputed border area and marks the deadliest conflict between the two countries in more than a decade. The U.S., China, and Malaysia are sending ceasefire proposals to de-escalate tensions. And terrifying video capturing a landslide triggered by heavy rain in southern China. Take a look at this cell phone video showing the moment. A part of the mountain in Yunnan province gave way, sending debris and trees sliding. Onlookers screaming as they ran out of the way. No one was injured, but the slide did cause a temporary power outage. And an Argentinian man winning a lawsuit against Google after the company's Street View camera, get this, captured him naked in his own yard. The man argued the post clearly showing him in the nude, along with his house number, was an invasion of privacy. Well, last year, another court dismissed the claim, saying the blame should be placed on the man for being indecent in his garden. An appeals court awarded him $12,500 in compensation. Okay. When we come back, soaring into the future with these almost unbelievable air bikes. They hover above the ground, but they're not science fiction. They're a reality, and you won't believe what they cost. Gotti Schwartz looks into it. And an update on the bride-to-be we showed you last night, who was surprised with a shower by her coworkers. The major update she's sharing with us today. Back now with the high-flying tech, so futuristic, it looks like it's plucked straight out of a Star Wars movie. High-powered air bikes taking the internet by storm and attracting some doubters who thought the promotional videos were maybe AI. But the company behind them says they are very real and the future is now. NBC's Gotti Schwartz looked into them.
Once the stuff of sci-fi fantasy, high-tech transportation from galaxies far, far away, now may be hitting much closer to home. Volonon, a Polish company, releasing video of their space-age flyers. Glossy posts catching fire online, but also raising questions, with online viewers asking if the bike has the physics to back it up.
Is it real? Is it fake? Is it AI generated?
I'll be honest. My brain is struggling a little bit to believe that this thing is real.
Volonon pushing back on Instagram, posting new footage that appears less produced, saying no special effects, no CGI, no AI, pure engineering, enjoy the future. But the future, it turns out, comes with a cost. The price, they say, $880,000 US. The company says the superbike for the skies is powered by jet propulsion and can reach speeds of up to 124 miles an hour. They say it's 7 times lighter than a motorcycle, and flight computer-powered stabilization makes it easy to ride. Now, these bikes aren't the first to tap into the public's fascination with bringing futuristic flight to new heights.
She leads away.
Other flying tech also going viral, like jetpacks racing over the water in Dubai. This hoverboard making a perfect landing. But the style and production value of Volonot's viral release perhaps getting the closest to bringing speeder bike tech back down to earth.
All right, Gotti, I got to ask you again. I just want to be clear on the record here. Are these things real?
It looks like they are real. There's only one way to find out. That is to give you or I invitation. But if you do have the cash, it looks like you might be able to get on this pre-order reservation list. That opens up on August 1st. Remember, this is very early on prototyping. Volanat says expect the first flight test footage next year. So not sure how long it's going to be before we do get that invitation. They say they're also looking at making a lighter version, a little slower top speed of like 63 miles an hour. Again, still years away, but I'm sure your son will be putting this on his Christmas list.
I mean, yeah, if you have an extra 800K, right, Gotti? Oh my gosh! And
I think we can go. I think we can go split skis with like all of the correspondents at NBC, and then we all just take
maybe
turns,
everybody at NBC on that one. All right, Gotti, so great to see you. Thank you, man. And we have an update tonight on the top moment we showed you last night. You may remember that beautiful moment. 62-year-old Sheila, who was stunned when her coworkers threw her a surprise bridal shower. Well, today was another very special day for Sheila. Marissa Parra explains.
It was indeed the surprise of a lifetime for Sheila Williams. Surprise! Wearing scrubs and clutching a mop, the 62-year-old was ready to clean a spill. But the beloved member of this Winter Park, Florida hospital cleaning staff was instead swept off her feet.
This is for me. We love you!
Swapping her scrubs for a veil, the bride-to-be walked into a real-life fairy tale.
She kept saying to us, is this a dream? And you can't fake the genuine reaction that she had.
Colleagues Hannah Heisdorf and Kayla Lightbody helped orchestrate the bridal shower break room surprise.
We had so many people come in on their day off.
She is just such a joy and such a bright light on our unit. Since she's been here, she greets everybody with a smiling face. And oh my gosh, she's just truly a wonderful, deserving individual.
That raw, pure gratitude touching the millions of hearts who have now seen it around the world. Now even hotel and airlines offering to shower more love for the blushing new bride.
All right, auntie.
Today, Sheila married the love of her life, Terry.
Congratulations.
Her story reminding us all that life's greatest moments are the ones you share with those you love. Marissa Parra, NBC News.
That does it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching Top Story. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.